The Thompson house stood at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac, its manicured lawn and freshly painted shutters giving no hint of the horror that would soon unfold inside. On the surface, it was the perfect suburban home, a place where neighbors waved as they passed, where the sound of children laughing carried through open windows on summer evenings. But behind closed doors, secrets festered, and the fragile threads holding the family together were already beginning to unravel. Mark Thompson was the kind of man people admired, charismatic, successful, the kind of husband who remembered anniversaries and brought home flowers for no reason. At 42, he had the easy confidence of someone who had gotten everything he wanted in life: a thriving career as a financial advisor, a beautiful wife, 2 well-behaved kids. But lately, he'd been restless. The routine of marriage, the predictability of it all, left him itching for something more. Something dangerous. Laura Thompson noticed the change in him before anyone else did. She knew her husband, the way his eyes darkened when he was bored, the way he tapped his fingers impatiently against the steering wheel when he thought no one was looking. She told herself it was just stress. Work was demanding. The kids were exhausting. But then, she started noticing the way he looked at Emily. Emily Carter was 17, bright, bubbly, the kind of girl who still blushed when someone complimented her. She'd been babysitting for the Thompsons for nearly a year, and at first, Laura had adored her. She was great with the kids, always on time, never complained. But then, things shifted. Mark started volunteering to drive her home, lingering in the kitchen when she was over, laughing a little too loudly at her jokes. Laura tried to ignore it. She didn't want to be the kind of wife who imagined things, who let jealousy poison her marriage. But then, the texts started. Late at night, Mark's phone would buzz, and he'd roll over, pretending to be asleep as he typed a response under the covers. Laura would lie there, staring at the ceiling, her stomach twisting into knots. One night, she finally looked. She waited until Mark was in the shower, then picked up his phone with trembling fingers. The messages were right there, bold and undeniable. Asterisks, can't stop thinking about you. Asterisk, asterisk, when can I see you again? Asterisk, asterisk, we have to be careful. Asterisk, her vision blurred. The phone slipped from her hands, clattering onto the tile floor. Mark came out of the bathroom, a towel around his waist, his smile fading when he saw her face. Laura, she didn't scream, didn't cry, just held up the phone, her voice eerily calm. What is this? He paled. It's not what you think. Really? Her voice cracked. Because it looks like you're sleeping with our teenage babysitter. He reached for her, but she stepped back, shaking her head. Get out, Laura, get out. He left that night, slamming the door behind him. Laura sank to the floor, her body trembling with rage and betrayal. She didn't know it then, but this was the moment everything started spiraling out of control. Mark didn't come home for 3 days. When he finally did, it was with empty apologies and promises to end things with Emily. Laura wanted to believe him. She really did. But then, she caught him texting her again just a week later. This time, she didn't confront him. Instead, she watched, she followed. She saw them together at a coffee shop downtown, Emily giggling as Mark leaned in too close. Saw the way his hand lingered on her lower back as they walked to his car. Saw the way he looked at her like she was something precious, something worth destroying his life for. Laura's anger hardened into something colder, sharper. Meanwhile, Emily was in over her head. At first it had been thrilling, the secrecy, the way Mark made her feel so grown up. But now, things were getting messy. Her friends were asking questions. Her parents noticed her sneaking out at night, and Mark, he was getting possessive, calling her constantly, showing up unannounced at her school. We need to talk, he said one evening, pulling her aside after she finished babysitting. Laura knows. Emily's stomach dropped. What? She saw my texts. His voice was tight. We have to be careful? Emily nodded, but inside, panic clawed at her chest. This wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to be fun. Secret, not this. She tried to pull away after that, ignoring his calls, making excuses when he asked to see her. But Mark wouldn't let go. You can't just walk away, he texted. Not after everything. She didn't reply. The night it happened, Laura had been drinking. Not enough to numb the pain, just enough to make the rage burn brighter. Mark was out again, probably with her. The thought made her fingers tighten around the wine glass. Then, his phone buzzed on the counter. She shouldn't have looked, but she did. A text from Emily. Asterisk, meet me at the park. We need to talk. Asterisk. Laura's breath came fast. Her hands shook. She got there first. The park was empty, the streetlights casting long shadows across the pavement. She waited, hidden behind a tree, her heart pounding in her ears. Then, Emily appeared. She looked nervous, glancing over her shoulder as she walked toward the bench. Laura stepped out of the shadows. Emily gasped. Laura. The first blow knocked her to the ground. The second silenced her forever. When the police arrived, Laura was still sitting beside Emily's body, her clothes stained with blood, her expression eerily blank. Mark showed up minutes later, his face draining of color when he saw the scene. Oh my God. Laura looked up at him, her eyes hollow. You did this. The trial was a media circus. Laura's defense argued temporary insanity, a crime of passion. The jury saw a betrayed wife, a woman pushed to the edge. They didn't see the girl she'd killed. Mark's life imploded. His affair was splashed across every headline. His friends turned their backs. His children would never look at him the same way again. Emily's family buried her on a rainy afternoon, their grief a raw open wound. In the end, no one won. Laura was sentenced to 15 years. Mark became a ghost of himself, drifting through life, with the weight of his guilt, and Emily was just a girl who made a mistake, and paid for it with her life.